Hello, I'm Kevin Hunter, host of the Business Forum Show. The story that I have to share with you today is disturbing, and sadly, it's something that has been going on for quite a while. I'm talking about the Cowlitz County Jail. Perhaps like me, you may have heard how bad things are there, but for many of us, we didn't know the specifics. I've also been concerned about the reports of recent deaths at the jail, and a lot of discussion has come out that the jail should be under the direction of an elected official, namely the sheriff's office, instead of a bureaucrat. What I'm going to share with you today is a letter written by correction officers to the attention of Commissioner Weber in the hopes that this issue would be addressed. After being ignored by the TDN, by their director Marin Fox-Hight, and Jim Zediller, they are now being ignored by Commissioner Weber. This letter has been on his desk for over a month without a single response. Subsequently, officers came to a source they believed would help. I feel complimented by that because I've made a point out of talking to people and actually listening to what they have to say. The officers at the jail have noticed and shared their concerns with me. Here's the entirety of the letter. Dear Commissioner Weber, I'm writing this to you on behalf of many concerned officers at the Cowlitz County Jail in hopes of you addressing the working conditions on our behalf. Simply put, it is an extremely stressful, bad place to work. We are understaffed already and losing officers due to disciplinary actions being extreme and officers constantly looking for new jobs in hopes of leaving behind an unhealthy work environment. Our administration constantly expects more and more from us and yet cannot seem to hire enough people so that we're fully staffed. This leads to mistakes and officers are constantly being disciplined. At this time, 3 officers I'm aware of are waiting to find out if they're still employed at the jail. The discipline on officers is constant and harsh, and yet it is very random. Admin picks and chooses who they want to write up. Examples can be given of 2 officers doing the exact same thing, and one being written up and the other told not to let it happen again. Our admin makes many of their own mistakes that we all see, and nothing ever happens to them. It's like they're untouchable and can do whatever they choose. An example of this would be when our ex-captain, Amy Anderson, released private medical records, and that was swept under the rug, and she was moved to a clerk's job. The reason given was that she was just looking to move to a less stressful job, but many of us know the truth. In the past, we have contacted the Daily News in hopes of having them print an article on the jail, but the most we could get there were a few short paragraphs in the letters to editor section. At one point, several years ago, at least half the officers in the jail signed a letter of no confidence on our director, Marin Fox-Hight. But the more the letter circulated, the more nervous officers became of retaliation, and the letter quietly disappeared. We do not understand why our staff needed a 3rd captain for the size of our jail. Captain Connor's salary takes a large chunk out of our county budget, and we were all given to understand that he would be a night shift weekends captain. He shows up Monday through Friday, usually by 4:30 a.m., but sometimes later, and leaves around noon. He has not worked a weekend since he started the job. Clark County Jail is twice our size and has, although under different titles, the equivalent of 1 director and 1 captain. We would sincerely like to be under the sheriff's office like the vast majority of jails in the country. We are aware that the sheriff's office really doesn't want to take us on since we are such a mess, but we have hopes that one day the Cowlitz County Jail will be a well-run jail and not have the reputation at jail conventions of being one of the worst-run jails in the nation. If you have any doubt about that statement, please speak with the head of the Oregon jails. Some of us have tried speaking with Jim Zediller, but to no avail. He protects our administration, so we feel we have no one to go to for help. I, amongst many other officers in the jail, have hopes that one day things will be set right, and we will be proud to say we work at the jail. But, year after year, things continue to get worse. Officers here are afraid to speak to anyone for fear of losing our jobs. If you need to speak to jail personnel, please contact past officers, fired or retired. They will all tell you the same as I am. Please take this letter seriously. We have nowhere else to go, and no one wants to get involved. We desperately need your help. You have my apologies, but I am unable to sign this letter. Sincerely, a Cowlitz County Corrections Officer. I hope this letter is met with the appropriate outrage and disgust. 39 out of 40 corrections officers would have signed this letter if they could have without retaliation or fear of being terminated. Over my years in professional broadcasting and consulting, it's not an uncommon thing for me to be contacted by a company experiencing employee morale issues and looking for a little outside help. It is extremely rare to see a situation that has eroded to the extent of the Cowlitz County Jail. I've never seen a solution of this kind that didn't also include the immediate removal of leadership in the organization. If you're concerned about the fact that people have died in the county jail as a result of an environment so hostile to its workers that the officers can't even properly focus on their jobs, then you need to step up and help put pressure on this issue. At every step, leadership is ignoring this. Weber was their last resort, and he has now turned a deaf ear to them as well. How about if you and I share this story all around our county, and let's add the accountability necessary to make the needed changes at the Cowlitz County Jail. Not only are the correction officers counting on you, but the lives of inmates will continue to be at stake if we ignore this. Let's demonstrate to Dennis Weber, Director Marin Fox-Hight, Jim Zadiller, and the TDN what it means to take appropriate action, and let's help the officers at the county jail restore this to an environment that they can be proud of. The conversation has gone on too long. Let's remove the director and place the county jail under the direction of Sheriff Mark Nelson, just as it should have been a long time ago. I'm Kevin Hunter. Thanks for listening.